everybody, Bryan here. Today we're going to be talking about a term called arpeggiating, or doing an arpeggio. And that fancy word is an Italian word that means broken chord. So when we play our chords normally and we're strumming them, we're not playing them in a broken manner. We're actually just connecting all the notes together and strumming it. But when you want to mix up your style and play something that almost sounds melodic, even though you have a chord instead of strumming it, you can try to do what's called arpeggiating. And what this is going to be is taking our pick, and instead of strumming the chord, we're taking a C chord, for example. We can take the chord and we can actually pick out one note at a time as you're doing that. And that's arpeggiating. But to make it more musical, we don't always have to go in order to arpeggiate. We can actually do some cool patterns down here. And I urge you to create different ideas and different skipping around with your right hand and arpeggiating that chord while keeping your left hand stable in one of the chord shapes that you might already know. So if I take the C chord, for example, here's a great one to start with. We could do an arpeggio where we start with the A string, but instead of going to the D string, skip to the G. And then come to the one you skipped, the D string. Now skip the G and go to the B. Come back to the G, and then the high E. So I've kind of gone every other note. And then return back. And when you get that, you get this really nice kind of cascading sound in the chord. And this can make it musical if you do that same pattern with a different chord. A minor, same right hand moves. And then maybe I can do a G, same way. And I went a little further with that one because I had more strings to choose from using the G chord like that. But you can get a musical theme. And get some way different sounds by using arpeggios and arpeggiating your chords. You've definitely heard these in some songs before. Simple Man by Leonard Skinner is a great one to practice, to be able to get the sounds of your arpeggiating down and to see what they do with it. Of course, Stairway to Heaven is a lot of arpeggiating. All those notes in those order is how you could take a chord and get something a little more interesting from it. So I urge you to take, again, some different chords in different styles, different orders, and be able to take your pick and move it around to see what you think sounds right when you're taking the chord and breaking it up or arpeggiating it. Another one that I like too that you could also practice instead of the every other one is you can actually go from low to high. That's what I call it. So if I went back to the C chord, I can actually just pick my bass note, and instead of going any further, I might jump all the way to the highest note and come backwards. The same with A minor, and the G, back to C. So you get to be able to go through all these chords, and again, make your own pattern with it. One thing too that a lot of players do is sometimes they might even add a little bit of an embellishment with maybe a hammer on with this too. So maybe I might go. So you can even add a little bit of that kind of sound to it too. But this is all about taking the chords you already know and making the order get moved around a little bit with your right hand, and that is called arpeggiating.